us first, and nobody got involved. Oh, we're all neutral. So,
Yeah.
And Greg said it. Let them mind their business. This is our problem.
Yeah.
I remember that, and that's the attitude we took. John was definitely behind them. It went as far as later on in the war. There was some beefs we had with them where we pulled up with like maybe 7 guys, and they literally had 100 guys lined in the social club.
Wow.
We pulled up, got out of the car, went and discussed the business and left. And I remember saying to myself, if it was the other way around, they'd never leave the club. So Greg, put us in some precarious positions. But then a few weeks later, it was the other way around where they came to see us for a beef, and there was 4 of us there, and they drove off because Greg was one of them. They didn't want to sit with him. So there was a lot of a battle of nerves for a while, you know. But then when it became a shooting war and they couldn't get us, and to go to your question, Vic actually asked John for help if he could take out Greg. Now, some of the guys were insulted by that because they said it's our family, and he should have been ashamed of himself to do that. And it's funny, we found out because a lot of guys in the Gambino family liked us, and they respected what we were doing, and they knew we were right. Yeah. So even though John said don't talk to them, they still came in every day to say hello, let them know they're supporting us, we're friends, blah blah blah. So we found out from one of those guys that they went to John for help. So if you see any of John's crew coming around here, be on the alert. So a few times we saw a couple of guys come in my pool room, and it was obvious they were sizing it up. Now a lot of times there was kids in there and ladies shooting pool or whatever, so they'd have to be careful about how to do that. So, but I remember like this day, 2 of them came in, and they were like looking around, making like they wanted to open a pool room of their own. We had 2 guys at the table right behind them with shotguns under the table. I mean, if they would have even reached for something, they were done. And we had people scattered around in that pool room with weapons, probably 10 men. So we find out later on that one of the guys he asks is Sammy. That's why these were Sammy's guys coming in. And I'll fast forward to a conversation I had with Sammy not too long ago when he confirmed that all happened. I said, but don't you think it's a little peculiar that he asked you to do it? That's his number 2 guy, his underboss, his closest confidant. And you're asking him to walk into the Lions' Den, into Greg's club during a war? Do you think you're going to walk out? And I mean, he had to say, well, I would have been careful. Of course you would have been careful, but so were we. I said, I'm just wondering why he would send you to do it. That's you're expendable to him. And he says, you know what? But they were having their own little rumblings at the time too. So John might have been trying to get him in a shootout and whatever. So there's a lot of backstabbing going on, but they were definitely, he was trying to influence the outcome more than anybody else. We had the chin behind us 100%. That was important.
Well, that was probably the motivating and the final factor. So to wrap that up, essentially, how did Persica win? How did it end?
Well, nobody really won it at that point. We all got arrested. Guys went away. While I was away, there was still murders. Joe Scopo got killed. Wild Bill got killed. So it was still going on, although it wasn't a shooting war. Those were more backstabbing, revenge murders. Well, not Joey Scopo. Joey Scopo was the one that brought the family back together. Once he was killed, they came back and they tried making deals with Billy Catola, Joe Waverly, different guys that had taken Vic's side. And they patched it up, but they didn't give Billy a pass. They came after and got Billy. He was a catalyst.
It was enough for Bill Cotolo and Scopo. It was enough to, you know what, you went that way, we're going to kill you. We can't get over it. That's essentially what happened.
Well, like I said, the war was still on when Joey got killed because he was still fighting. He still wanted the family. So once he got killed, all the underlings, now they had nobody to look up to. So they put it back together. And Billy was seduced back in with a captain's stripe again. And, they brought him closer. But